my most watched in North America in terms of streamers. And this time going for upgraded champions, a bit more of a tempo game plan here. We're going to see which each one gets. For the one costs, you know, I think I really like something like Jax. It's a great solo tank. You can put tank items on him early on. You can put AP items on him. That's usually what I'm most happy getting. I'll just say Warwick, not so much.
Yeah, doesn't really slot into any of the early games that you want. He's not the strongest frontliner. It's definitely a bit tough there. Wow, 2 more copies! Warwick 3!
Warwick 3 game plan.
Probably should stay away from that one, I think.
Corrupt Vampiric Scepter. I heard Panda talking about it yesterday.
Oh, absolutely insane. No, we do see an Elise over here, which can be a good early game if you find the Elise plus the Jace. You get the double shapeshifter. Gives you a pretty decent front line for the early stages.
We haven't seen Spider Queen just yet. You know, that's been a big augment in a lot of competitive play. Especially in Project PPE, where we saw Taro doing very well with that line, going to the Syndra. And AP items to start, you know, that's always really happy. We've seen with the carousel play, the 2 items that people deny the most are going to be the tears for the Shoujins and also the bows for the Guinsus.
All right, now on board with Hong Lian. Not getting a frontliner. I think in general, the upgraded you really want a frontliner. The backliners are nice, but just having that stable 1-cost frontline and then you just find it to go 2 later. I like this better, right? When you get the Ziggs, you're probably not winning against upgraded frontlines, so go to 20 gold and play the full Lost Hong Lian special, right?
Yes, exactly. I love watching Hong Lian. He's so fun as a player because honestly, he's not the fastest player, but he's very precise with his transitions. So he's always able to get out and scoreboard scrapper. He's rolling the other 2. Do we have
there
scoreboard
it is, the full lost streak scoreboard scrap and coming through for Hong Lian. Gonna hold on to 2 copies of Kog'Maw here. I'm curious if he actually maintains that or not, if he wants to play into this composition later, or he'll sell them off and make 30.
I was a little surprised.
He sells them.
At how fast he actually clicked that. Because a lot of times you want to check the other players if they have spots that they can full open on you. If they full open on you, then, you know, you just lose your streak. So
Hong Lian says, full loss, no pivot, me lost streak. Team, play around it. Hong Lian says, I'm carrying this one. I got you guys.
All it takes is for one FNATIC player to full open. Okay, he's baiting them. He's baiting them. It's sold at the end. That's a good move there.
All right, against Easy. So first time he's just going to take damage. This is a bit unfortunate for the full loss because in the 4v4, as you said, FNATIC just has to try and snipe it, get that full open, make him end up getting a win instead. You are forced to just kind of do this full sell, take a lot of damage strategy. And hey, you were saying 11 loss, 15 HP, turn it around. That might be what has to happen because of the fact that you can't really present too much of a board with danger of just getting sniped.
Yeah, it's very bad in a 4v4 situation. This is why out of the high-stakes augments, we haven't seen anyone been taking this entire tournament. But I will say in a solo queue environment, it's actually one of the better win-out augments. One that might get nerfed in the future. Ooh. Very good with the Warrior Preserver line later on.
Bit of a low roll here on the support Sentinel. Kind of tough to have Gem because it's going to walk up. It's probably going to die in the first 15 seconds. You're not really getting the support item out of it.
I will say the Gem has been retooled to be quite good statistically.
Really?
You get flat damage amp at the start, and it also goes up to 25%. So you get 15 early, and then you get 10 early, and then it slowly ramps up. So
I guess 10's enough, yeah. I mean, it's still pretty strong.
If you had a good Vanguard frontline like you see here, and every second that Golem stays alive, you get that extra damage in here. Of course, he's not going to win out. He hasn't leveled up. Going against Weijin's board here, which is one of the best boards in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be an easy win. We'll have to keep an eye on the potential loss streakers from FNATIC because those are the ones who can look to grief Hong Lian. Right now, just Malala and Weijin with the early losses.
Disso, kind of a high roll with the artifact here, actually got the Suspicious Trenchcoat. Do you want to know the tech?
Yeah, what's the tech this time around, right? We had Lissandra last set for some cool stuff. Yep. What can we do with Suspicious Trenchcoat now?
So the current tech in China is you put it on Nasus, and once he casts, he actually takes HP from everyone. When he splits into 3, he takes HP from everyone around him again, and he can take up to, I believe the numbers is 2,600 HP from everyone.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Targets.
Yeah, that's insane.
So what he wants to play for the combo here, I'm not sure he's going for it, but if you want to play that combo, he just needs to find a couple more Protector's Vow, make sure the Nasus can get chain cast on, and it just devastates any front line.
I want to see it. I hope Kiyun knows the tech here, has the early trench coat to make it happen, right?
Oh, Kiyun, sorry, yeah.
And as you said, yeah, Protector's Vow, it's always been a nice combination with trench coat. Just you get the auto cast as soon as you pop out as well. We'll see if it can get there, but for now, you know, just getting the Elises. If they can get their casts off early on, that's a lot of extra HP for this front line. It should be a great way for Kiyun to keep a win streak.
Yeah, Kiyun's board is looking absolutely disgusting right now. You have 3 upgraded Elises in the front line. Also, the Shapeshifters coming in with the Jace as well. So I expect him to win out quite a bit. I know I've said that a lot of times, and instantly just something else happens.
Works, right? You say, oh, this guy will win out 100%, and they'll lose immediately.
All right. First look at Honglian here. He, still hasn't committed a lot of things to his board. Is sitting on an open cloak.
Yeah, and a lot of gold with the scoreboard scrapping happening already, right? 40 gold into the carousel. Very ahead of the curve, having all that extra gold from the early game.
Oh, yeah, scoreboard scrapper. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking fortune favors the bold, but of course this is significantly lower risk. You get your 80 AP every round going forward. And mainly it's just been a Warrior Preserver line. So, you know, if he does get his loss streak broken, it's not as cataclysmic. No. Sorry, I just got a little bit confused with the augments here.
It's still troublesome if he does, though, right? He needs to stay on the low half of the scoreboard, which at this point will be pretty easy because he did like full open for a while. But also he's going to need a lot of gold because if he's playing into that 4-cost line and he's losing so much HP early on, he does need to be able to hit as soon as he hits 8 and try and actually full transition. Oh,
Kudz might be going back onto the win streak now. Great setup for the Syndra Vanguard line that we have here. On the imposing end, Easy also trying to play strong win out. 100 HP, should get it here. Sleight of hand, a 2-star Mordekaiser.
Yeah, looking at Kiyun, going to try and keep the win streak against Malala, who is currently carrying a Twitch, which we have not seen a lot of in the early stages of the game, but, you know, if that's what you've got, that's what you're going to play around. Has the Twitch and the Namzi playing around the early Hunters. So yeah, once again, it's just going to be the win streakers staying on top. Easy, probably more in the comfort zone at the top of the tables with the win streak.
The only Blasters or Hunters line we've seen has been played with lots of emblems, Double Frost emblem. You know, we heard Z10 talk about yesterday. Actually, Geekay talked about yesterday. No, we're not playing Frost Hunters again. Probably not of the lines. Not one of the lines you're going to expect.
3 out of 4 WEIBO players being able to keep a full streak right now. Big econ advantage for the side of WEIBO, especially if Honglian and Kuza do not run into each other. And if Easy is able to take out Kiyun, that would also be massive. Looks like they're safe on the loss streak front. I wonder if the win streakers are fighting each other or not here, because Honglian should definitely be able to lose this one. On the other side, Kiyun versus Easy, that is going to be the top of our tables here. Kiyun does have that trench coat. If we can see these Elises go into spider form once again, it will be massive. One of them gets denied. It saves a lot of HP, and this is a Mordekaiser 2. I did not even realize.
He scales as
2 stars so huge.
Yeah, he's been casting so many times. Every time he casts, he gets 10 additional AP, and that feeds into his shields. And again, no focus fire early on to the Mordekaiser means Easy is going to run away as the only big win streaker.
Yeah, and look at that. 3 5 streaks into Krugs for WEIBO. Already a massive advantage for this team. And we'll see if FNATIC can find a way to come back, if their spots can be strong enough to contend with just the econ advantage that's going to exist here.
Yeah, and if we look across the board here, there's a lot of tempo going into it. Honglian sticking to multi-strikers most likely, and we have the Vanguard Syndra coming out from Kudz. So 2 big roll downs that are going to happen very soon. You know, there's a lot of different ways that they could do these roll downs. One strategy you can employ is one person roll downs first, take the champions that they want, then the other one goes in afterwards to kind of get the filter down.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they employ that strategy or if they just decide to roll at the same time, try and race FNATIC on any of that. 50-50 Honglian. He didn't need any more money, but he'll take one more. Yeah, he'll take one more gold.
69 HP, more than enough to work with here for Honglian. We've seen him, I've seen so many times in games where he just goes down to 10, 12. Very exciting stuff happening here.
Oh, not even worrying about the pre-level, just going to straight up level 2-6 here. Put a little bit more power on the board.
going to do so off interval. Easy. This is a bit of an awkward round for him. He's not rolling the best items in his front line, but it's okay. He's got Honglian, so both of them are going to preserve their streaks.
Yep, and Honglian maybe leveling to 6 will let him kill a unit, but it's pretty tough against Easy's board with that Mordekaiser in the front line.
It's going to be interesting to see where Easy goes with this line. He has the Mordekaiser too, which leads, most of the time to believe going for the Syndra line, of course, but we have Kudzu already on that line, set up with the Syndra 2. So how will they pivot out of each other's way is going to be a big thing here.
Second augment selection coming up. Just going to be golds once again.
Looking for multi-striker +1. That would be the best option for him. He has done the correct setup here. He's already tailored his augment, so there's a pretty good chance. I don't think he's going to go for a golden quest, though.
But he's so rich. He has 63 gold already.
That is true. I will say the problem with golden quest is a lot of times you can hit something like the...
Wait, he just took it.
What?
He just... Am I crazy? He just clicked golden quest, right? He's selling up. If he hadn't leveled to 6, he'd actually be so close. But he just clicked Golden Quest.
Oh boy,
Wait, we just had Golden Quest unironically clicked in the match that will eliminate WEIBO if they lose.
This is Honglian. What can I say? This is the Honglian style. Let me tell you why I really don't like this pickup. Because a lot of times you can go into Milio, which is purely support, doesn't carry your board, doesn't even give you a Shojin, and you just instantly die. The best one would be Camille. That's the one he's homing for. He has the items for it already. Very strong, has a lot of useful traits, but there's also a couple of stinkers in there.
Yeah, I guess, if he hits Camille, he wins the game, I suppose, maybe. It's so much power from a gold augment, right? 2-star 5 cost 3 completed items is absolutely insane. But getting there is tough. 49 HP. This is
putting it all on the lawn.
This is crazy.
I did not think that he was gonna. Combat Casters was right there.
He's 80 more gold. He's not. It's not like he's just there already.
He better hopes that
if he hadn't leveled to 6, he's so much closer.
He better hope that the PvE rounds is just gonna drop nothing but gold there. You typically want full loss streak into 4-1 onto this, and you want to start holding some of the preservers. That's usually how you can cap out your board. I think you're gonna have to sell your multi-strikers. You can't play a low-cost multi-striker line anymore.
I'm in shock.
I am in shock. I'm in complete disbelief here. He could hit the Briar with these items. I think the Briar would be fine as well. Briar Camille would be good outs. Morgana is decent. Not really the items for a Diana, but you can kind of get away with it. The worst ones, definitely, though, is if he just gets the Smolder or the Milio, I'm not sure WEIBO Gaming is going to make it out.
39 HP now, goes to Carousel. Going to be able to try and pick up an influx. He just has to grab 4 gold here, right? There's just no other reasonable option.
This is why I'm a Honglian fan. If I was their coach, I'm not sure I would advise him go here.
If he can find a pool that's all teammates and they can give him a softer loss, that'd be pretty nice right about now.
Yep, looking across the board, some of these compositions, Jisoo going to go for the Kog'Maw line again. We saw him on this line yesterday, averaging a 6, so not really a line he's super comfortable with, I would say. He's comfortable with it, but hasn't done well on it so far.
Looks like he went Epoch, though. Do you think he'll stay within Kog'Maw or try and get something a little bit later, pivot out of it, just playing it for tempo for now?
He could definitely still do that. He has the Gwinsus, that you could go into a Callista 4-cost line like that. But I think that those are realistically the 2 options you have left. Easy, full HP still. Wow. We have seen some people try Veigar, but yesterday the average was a 7.5. It's just way too easy to deny as a 3 cost. So I think he's probably still going to go for more of a level 8 game plan. He's just level 7 now because he wants to maintain his tempo. WEIBO getting some really good rolls on the augment choices here. The defensive arts lowers the damage from the opposing team, allows you to slow the fight down for extra stacks onto the Syndra. Also just gives you a Syndra too.
And you see the Syndra is plenty for WEIBO for now, actually going to be able to shut down Easy's win streak, and this is huge. He's been on the 8-win streak. They needed to stop this, able to get it done. See Honglian down to 28 life. He will be able to make it to PvE. He should be able to make it to 160 gold.
Yeah, he still has a lot of gold on his board to sell. We're probably gonna have to look at the board army and like subtract a couple for like the 2 stars. But typically it's 4-1, 4-2 for this type of a play style, and there is no room for error. What I'm worried about is he has to have perfect fight RNG. If he rotates into his teammates, even that could be very detrimental.
All right, now we're on board with WEIBO, who we just saw take down Easy on the 3 streak, rotates into Honglian. This is going to be a huge loss for Honglian again, but actually a little beneficial to run into someone who's level 6 instead of level 7, especially with how weak his board is. Going to take a little bit less damage than you potentially could, and it looks like he might be able to grab 2 kills. It's kind of the best you can hope for considering the power of Honglian's board.
He better have a massive win out. This is absolutely crazy.
I mean, you set it up beautifully, Clement. You wanted Honglian to go down to something like 11 HP and then turn it around and win out the entire game. And Honglian absolutely delivering on that here.
He's still 50 gold away.
He gets one more econ round here, plus whatever gold he can get from Wolves.
Yeah.
And he has one more loss available, but that means he would have to do a 160 gold pivot into a full board.
He only has
after
20 gold to sell on his board right now, so I'm not even sure he can do it on 4-1. It's going to come down to these PvE rounds. How much
it has to be 4-2. Yeah, he's going to have to take one more loss, I think. No gold.
No gold? Come on. Worst possible roll for him.
He's going to have one round to make this transition and stabilize. And then he has to be able to win out from there.
EWC, where legends happen.
This has the potential to be the greatest play of the entire tournament or the worst disaster of the entire EWC.
I like combat casters. I'm not thrown down for this. I feel like I'm getting strapped onto a roller coaster that I didn't buy the tickets for, you know? I'm just getting pushed on.
This is us waking up in the middle of a lake on our mattress. Not sure how we got here.
Yep. And like I said, it just comes down to what 5 costs you get here. There are a couple ones that are really awkward. Even for Briar, they don't give you the perfect items for the champion. Right, all eyes on Honglian, the team captain, risking his reputation and his game style, putting it to the test against the best in the world.
Another big loss from Dish. You said 11, how about 5? That's where we're at for Honglian. 11 loss streak, 5 HP in a dream.
Budget doesn't even give you gold now.
Takes balance budget anyway. He wants more gold. Has
Here
to
we
sell
go.
everything to get there. It's Diana.
He has the items
front
for it.
line can be stabilized. Gets a little bit of help there. We're going to see what he can hit. Can he find the 2-star Karma? He goes directly to level 8. Not able to find Karma, not able to find Preservers just yet. Missing everything. There's a Smolder, a Taric. Can he put together some Bastion frontline? Gets the pair. What else can he find? He's missing on everything he wants. As you said, Preservers, he's not seeing any of them. Gets the Taric 2, he's got a bunch of Bastions, but he doesn't have damage. Karma 1 is going to have to make all the difference with the scoreboard scrapper.
Yeah, the win out here. Oh, no, he actually didn't take the... All right, has 2 Scholars in the back. Preservers here. Full items. He's going to have to itemize his Diana now. The big thing about Diana, too, is actually quite powerful because if she can cast twice, she goes into the backline directly to snipe out carries. Start of stage 2, this should be enough to stabilize.
Tries to put it together, goes against Easy. This one should be a victory. He's carrying Hui currently. The board does look powerful for Honglian, but is it strong enough to win out? That is the big question that we're going to have. I think this was a good roll down, but he missed quite a bit of what he was looking for.
Yeah, he really wanted to get a little bit more of the Preservers like you were mentioning. He already had the Fiora there, so he wanted to get the Morgana to kind of round the comp out. When you have a big carry, the rest of the team just needs to buff that carry. So Preservers and Arcana are typically going to be your best options in this cap-out board. He avoided some of the worst possible outcomes, and but I'm still not sure about the positions. Strong stage 4 for sure. It's just about if other players can have some miraculous charms that just knock him out. It's very possible that a very strong combat charm could just knock you over.
Yeah, and we see so much gold spent by Dish Soap and Kiyun. Go to 8, roll to 0. They're hoping to potentially even just rotate into Honglian now and maybe catch him. But that's a Karma 2 in the shop for Honglian. Just sell off one of the Gwens. This comp is now online.
Absolutely massive find for him right here. If the target focus isn't on the Diana, I think he should be fine so far. Yeah. But it also comes down to where this Diana goes. Wrong direction. We really would have preferred him going into the back line there for the Diana. Does plenty of AoE damage, but not that great against single target. Never mind.
Yeah, he's doing plenty. Double Ginsu Callista, but this is Hong-Sing. Didn't even put in the Fairy Crown. Just wants to make sure he doesn't accidentally take down Honglian, who is their ace in this game. We'll be looking for that first place, playing the hero mode. And it's up to FNATIC to knock everyone else out from WEIBO into that bottom 4 because Honglian is coming for first.
Yeah, and we see Weijin and Malala here now in the 30s in terms of HP. It's been a while since we've been so tied up on Honglian's board, so let's take a look at what Malala and Weijin are rocking. Malala going for Preserver Warriors, and in the meantime, we have Weijin going for Vanguard with Syndra, but looks like he's very far off his 3-star copies. Also doesn't have any Karmas or Namis there, so a bit of a low roll situation for Weijin.
Yeah, he has these, Incanter augments trying to buff that up and make the Syndra even stronger, and maybe that would increase his cap quite a bit if he had been able to get to the 3-star, but as you said, he's still stuck on level 6, so I don't think he's going to be the one to threaten Honglian. We're going to have to look at these other players, but there's the 3-star. Maybe this is an opportunity.
Yeah, he wasn't there on the carousel, but able to find it at the very last second. Who is he going to be rotating in? On the other side for WEIBO Gaming, it's very clear Kudze and Honglian are probably going to be their win-out players. So for FNATIC here, they really need to knock a couple of these players out early. Hanxing looks like the one they should be targeting.
Yeah, BZ was playing the win streak early on, has moved on to be playing around a Nami and a Nasus, but not finding many upgrades. The Tahm Kench, the only full cost upgrade that the board has found. So the front line is relatively stable. Some item slams onto the Nasus, trying to deal some more damage to Weijin, and it looks like it will be successful in doing so. The Nami trying to get through this front line still. Relatively close fight if the Syndra can get through, but it does seem like just her alone, Weijin going to take another big hit.
And so far, I really haven't seen a win-out board yet. If Weijin goes down, like, Weijin probably has the most potential to win out, but his front line just isn't there. What we've seen from a lot of players is, in this situation, you want to kind of mix in. If you get a Briar 2, you get a Nasus 2, mix it in with the Vanguards, propel you further. But if we look at Weijin's spot, he actually rolled a lot of gold. He's stuck on level 7. He's not going to 8 here. So, can't really come down to Weijin and the Syndra win out.
All right, Malala on the Karma 2. A couple Nasuses on the bench. Still, this board, once again, not looking strong enough to deal with Honglian, and it is on a 2-loss streak so far. Got the Fiora onto the Karma, but she's healing far too much for now. Dealing with Kiyun on the other side, who is playing the Nasus Trenchcoat. He does have that Protector's Vow as well to try and make this happen, blow up the front line. Looks like it might be enough to beat Malala, but Malala taking more damage is not necessarily what the side of Kiyun actually wants. FNATIC going to be losing Weijin and Malala very shortly. They're both so incredibly low.
Is there a player that can actually cap out Honglian here? A 4-win streak all through stage 4. It's still going to be very precarious because on the other side of WEIBO Gaming, they can't build their boards too strong. If they do, they might accidentally get a team kill.
It would have had to be Kiyun, but looking at Kiyun now, right, this is Thieves' Gloves on Nasus instead of, I guess we got debated by the Nico transforming into Nasus.
Yeah, I think there's still some, good synergy there in the stuns here. He probably just hit the Nasus too, and he probably just had the items on the Nico beforehand, unfortunately. But he could still go into that secret tech we were talking about. Kudze doesn't look like he'll be able to knock out his teammates, so they just always have to check their boards and communicate here as well on some of the sides. You want your Tahm Kench on the side, not on the side of the carries coming in from Honglian.
Yeah, it does, as you said, seem like FNATIC does not have a good way to beat Honglian. And if that ends up being the case, considering Weijin and Malala are most likely to go 8th here, it's going to be hard-pressed for FNATIC to come back in this game. We might have FNATIC blowing out WEIBO into the opposite happening this time around.
Taking a look at WEIBO, only at 10 HP here. His front line's already crumbling. Kudz is going to take him out.
Yeah, it's just not even close in this fight. The 3-star Syndra just not getting the job done. WEIBO going to go down. That's going to be the 8th place. Malala also falling in this fight. Double elimination, 7th and 8th. FNATIC having to go 1-2 from here. And yes, while they have the HP, they do not have the board strength to deal with Honglian.
Kiyun just had his streak snapped here. Let's take a look at Dish Soap's board. It's been a while since we checked in on him. And honestly, this is not a high cap-out board. Has most of his offensive items onto the Milio. He's going to have to still transition this further, usually to the Xerath or something else, in order for this board to work. It looks like he's just trying to preserve HP. I don't really see this as potentially being a top 2 board.
Yeah, major polymorph, not even any kind of cheese there to try and go for a 3-star 5 cost and make it happen, since there weren't any 2-star 4 costs anyway on the board. Might see EZ falling soon enough, but got the job done, avoided 7th and 8th place. Plenty of points for the team this time around, and the heroes are still alive. Honglian at 5. What masterful play of the lose out into the win out. We never thought he was going to click it. And he did, and he finds the Diana.
I still couldn't believe it when I was shell-shocked for a long time, but it looks like it might work out here. You know, they're not completely out of the woods. It's 5 HP here at the bottom, but the threats are gone. There's just not enough pressure from the other side.
Yeah, the teammates can continue to sack if necessary, or at least position so Honglian can win. And we look at the boards of Dish Soap and Kiyun, and neither of them should be able to take down this board.
Yeah, they just need to take out Dish Soap. If Dish Soap isn't second, the game is mathematically over. That's all they need to focus on. So it's going to be basically impossible for Dish Soap to hit any of his upgrades.
There we go, easy, done enough. Going up against Kazuha here. Should just be able to fall down. Doesn't really matter. This is good to keep some extra HP on yet another potential threat for first, even if Honglian goes down.
Honglian is going to clean up on the other side versus Hanxing, and if you look at the easy board, he knew he was a goner, still holding on to the Rakons, making sure that the preservers are not going to be available for Dish Soap. Dish Soap on a 2-loss streak. Let's see what he needs to keep himself and FNATIC in the game. Still on Rakan 1, still on Morgana 1. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to find any upgrades here. I'm pretty sure in a 4v2 situation that WEIBO Gaming is going to be holding all of his copies for him.
Yeah, just ends up grabbing an Nasus here, getting Hextech Gunblade. Nothing too special for either of the FNATIC members.
Oh, finally gets the Rakan too.
But he's on 8, rolling to 0 every single round, looking for Morgana 2, looking for Ryze 2. And even with those hits, I don't think he's winning the game. Epoch will come around if he can live to 6-1, get a little bit of extra gas in the tank. But even then, I just don't see a world where he's beating Honglian.
Yeah, and it's not just Honglian either, you know. In this type of situation, Kiyun might need to sack to keep Dish Soap alive. If you accidentally kill Dish Soap, then the game's just over either way, so...
Well, we might see it here going up against Hansing. Dish Soap, Emilio, going to give items across the entire board. Everything's itemized, but is it tanky enough? The upgrade on the Rakan should buy a lot of time, but the damage just isn't quite there because the Ryze is still only 1 star. Trying his best, but his best does not seem like it is enough. It's going to be the Callista taking it down. And we had an absolute stomp from the first game, and this time around it looks reversed, even though Dish Soap does hang on with 2 health.
The last hope for FNATIC here. Where are those Morganas? How can you not find a Ryze?
Desperate plea.
Probably has to be the easiest one.
Desperate plea. He's holding on to neutrals.
That's huge. That's huge. In this type of situation, it's really important to see what kind of combat augment Kiyun might have picked up. If he has a powerful combat augment, he could knock out Honglian. It's been a while since we've taken a close look. That's probably the best scenario for them. Knock out Honglian, send someone to 5th place, and have Dish Soap in the top 2 players in the top 4. You open up a lot more win conditions.
Yeah, and Hong Lian's been essentially donkey rolling on 8 as well as pretty much the entirety of this lobby, just trying to find as much power as possible, beat people down. Dish Soap looks like he will lose once again, but he does have the desperate plea to stay alive a little longer as Hong Lian going to dominate his fight. He's found plenty of upgrades now.
Yep. Don't look at the right side. Dish Soap is still here. He's still here. The math is correct from our observers, but desperate plea is going to keep him in the game. And Kiyun not even being able to win out. So, you know, even if Dish Soap survives, Kiyun also needs to stay in the top 2 here. So a lot of conditions need to go right. Hanxing we saw was playing I think a very popular build that we've been seeing, which is the multi-striker flex. A lot of forecast focus, especially playing around Nasus. Very strong board coming in here. And, you know, going back to the start of the game, this is what I wanted to see a little bit more out of WEIBO Gaming. Slow the game pace down a little bit. Go more for cap-outs. You know FNATIC has not been able to go first place in any of their games so far. So maybe make that the centerpiece of your strategy.
I mean, it's how Z10 beat them, right? Yep. Z10 played for a lot of cap-outs. They were able to go 1-2-7-8 in one of their games as well to win. They've been able to do it a couple of times just finding those first places right throughout the series. They went first every single game. And so finding that way to play for that high variance, that high cap-out, Hong Lian does it here. Still not guaranteed to win, but he has put himself and his team in such a great position.
Yep, Morgana 2 still not found. Rise 2 is coming in, but... And then we see the sack from Kiyun. Yep.
Well done by FNATIC. Good team play, as Hong Lian is probably going to have to hit one of his teammates exceptionally hard here by a little bit more space. And if Dish Soap or Kiyun can find, as you said, a charm to turn the tides, make something happen. Hong Lian almost goes down.
Ooh.
It makes it a good loss, but he still takes out Kaza.
Okay, that's a big sigh of relief coming in from FNATIC. Again, because they went 7 and 8, they need to go 1 and 2 for the rest of these 2 players.
And
Desperate Pleas.
You can't afford a charm.
Yeah. Desperate Pleas are going to be absolutely huge here if any of the players pick him up. He just fought Kiyun, so he should be going up against one of the WEIBO Gaming players here. I think he should be able to take out Hanxing.
Yeah, he did everything he can to get stronger, right? He just grabs this Dragon Claw. There's nothing else he can do. Does not end up putting it on the Rakan, trying to keep a better item open for when the Melio casts. We can see the Morgana trying to stay alive in the front line. Does get the matchup he wants, right? This is Hanxing. This is the only person that he can potentially beat in the lobby. Rakan trying to stay alive a little bit longer as Rise actually has the damage now, but the front line is gone. The Nasus is just far too strong. The damage from the Melio and the Rise coming through. The last second, the items, are they there? The Zillion, can the Zillion do enough? One more cast, onto the Nasus, one more.
Nasus still healing?
Zoe, Nasus stays alive. The portal, what can it do? The Nasus does too much. Dish Soap almost had it. And he's going to go down instead, and Hong Lian and Hanxing hold fast, hold strong, and WEIBO take game 2 and keep their hopes alive in the EWC.
What a game to witness. 10 HP left on the winning team. It came down to a nail biter, a lucky roll of the die here. Scoreboard scrapper into such a strong win out on the side of Hong Lian. This is his style. This is why he's called the Magician. And WEIBO Gaming are going to take it to game 3.
Clement, you prophet. You said Hong Lian, I just want him to go on an 11-loss streak, go down to whatever, 1 life, and then win out for this game number 2. You said that was the biggest change that WEIBO could make to try and beat FNATIC. And what did we see from Hong Lian?
I just want to say, I know my streamer too well. This is exactly what he does. It's bad for my heart, but I love watching his stream just because of this. He is my hero. Very good win coming out from WEIBO Gaming. Lots of close fights going on. But in the end, you know, FNATIC, they continue this trend of not really being able to sort of force feed